Just when you thought the Diddy case couldn't get any darker, it did. A shocking new lawsuit has emerged, not just against Sean Diddy Combs, but his own son, Justin, and the allegations. So disturbing, so detailed, they've thrown the entire case into deeper chaos. Because this isn't just another accusation. This is a claim that links father and son in an act so twisted, it's hard to believe, until you realize just how many others have said the same thing, and what happens next could destroy the Combs empire forever. Diddy's avalanche of lawsuits. As of now, Diddy is facing nearly 80 civil lawsuits. That's not a typo. 80. Most of these come from anonymous accusers. Many are women, some are men, and almost all of them say the same thing. They were manipulated, drugged, and violated at the hands of someone with too much power and no accountability. There are consistent claims of what insiders called freakoffs, masked parties, sex rituals, and carefully organized setups. Some say the goal was domination. Others say it was to break people down. And at the center of it all, again and again, is Diddy. This story's just the beginning. Subscribe for more deep dives into the scandals they don't want you to see, because silence protects power. And we're here to break it. The freakoff pattern. If you think the word freakoff sounds ridiculous, you're not alone. But in court, witnesses are dead serious about what it means. Cherie Hayes, an escort known as the Punisher, testified that these parties were coordinated events. Drugs were served, phones were taken. Everyone wore masks. And during one of these alleged events, Diddy reportedly wore something resembling a hijab to conceal his identity. Now compare that to what the Louisiana woman described in her lawsuit. Drugs, masks, men entering quietly, a forced act of violence. Coincidence? Or the same pattern repeated over and over? The lawsuit no one saw coming. In 2017, a young woman from Louisiana says she was approached by Justin Combs on Snapchat. He wasn't just friendly, he promised her something more, a job in the entertainment industry, a real shot at her dreams. So, like many would, she took the risk. She flew to Los Angeles, expecting an opportunity. What she claims happened instead is something out of a nightmare. According to the civil lawsuit filed in court, Justin lured her into a Beverly Hills house. Once inside, things turned strange. She says she wasn't allowed to leave, that she was offered alcohol, weed, and pills, and that the weed felt off. Laced, she believes. Then came the moment that turned this story from disturbing to horrifying. She says 3 masked men entered the house, and what happened next, according to her, was a brutal coordinated assault. The father-son link, Pops. That's the word Justin allegedly said as one of the masked men entered the house. Pops, a name Justin openly uses for Diddy on social media, interviews, and even in court appearances. The lawsuit claims that Pops was Sean Combs, that Diddy himself participated in what the woman described as a brutal gang rape. She was taken to a bedroom, she says, and told, "You better let this happen, or else." Each man allegedly took a turn. No escape, no help. And afterward, she was quietly flown back to Louisiana. It's a horrifying story. And while it's easy to assume this must be a one-off, it's not. Because this isn't the first time Justin's name has shown up in cases tied to his father. Not by a long shot. Justin's history of involvement. Just last year, Justin Combs was named in a lawsuit filed by music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. The claim that Justin helped cover up a shooting in 2022 at Lil Rod's own studio. A shooting allegedly linked to Diddy himself. Lil Rod also accused Diddy of coercion and sexual abuse. And while a judge eventually dismissed Justin from that case, the lawsuit painted a deeply unsettling picture of what really went on inside Diddy's inner circle. These weren't just business partners. These were people involved in a lifestyle, a dark, hidden world full of control, silence, and secrets. And once you start connecting the dots, you realize these stories all start to sound the same. Strange timing, strategy, or coincidence. The lawsuit against Justin dropped just hours after prosecutors delivered closing arguments in Diddy's federal criminal trial. Literally hours. Coincidence? Maybe. But legal experts believe it could be a strategy. Filing a fresh civil lawsuit at the peak of a criminal case puts more pressure on the defense. It adds heat, it adds headlines, and it keeps the narrative in the public eye. The lawyer behind the case, Tony Busby, is no amateur. He's made headlines before, representing clients in high-profile abuse cases, and he's known for choosing his moments carefully. But even if the lawsuit is real, can Diddy or Justin actually defend themselves against the sheer volume of cases coming their way? Why is this civil and not criminal? So if these claims are this horrifying, why aren't there criminal charges? The answer isn't simple, but it comes down to a few things. First, civil court requires a lower burden of proof. You don't need physical evidence, just credible testimony. Second, many victims are terrified to come forward. They don't want to face cross-examination, or worse, retaliation. And third, some prosecutors simply aren't willing to take on high-powered defendants with teams of lawyers and unlimited money. The woman in this case may have decided that civil court, as imperfect as it is, was her only path to justice. But even justice has a price. The money war, legal fees, legacy, and damage control. Estimates suggest that Diddy's total legal costs, civil and criminal, could reach well over $100 million. That's not a lawsuit. That's a war. Justin Combs, despite being Diddy's son, is still tied into the financial web of the Combs empire. Whether he pays out of pocket or not, the damage to his name and future is massive. Even if every claim were proven false, the public perception is already poisoned. And in the court of public opinion, that's a verdict that doesn't get reversed. What once looked like a music dynasty now looks like a crime network, a fall from power. It's hard to overstate how massive the Combs empire once was. Diddy wasn't just a producer, he was the icon of success, a man who turned himself into a brand, an empire, a legacy. But now, that empire is burning, and with every lawsuit, every victim, every new voice that speaks up, the fire spreads. It's no longer just about Diddy, it's about Justin. It's about the people who enabled him. The ones who stayed quiet. The ones who helped. Whether they're guilty or not, the truth is out there now, and it's ugly. And this may just be the beginning. A web of enablers. Behind every empire built on silence, there's a network of enablers. Assistants, lawyers, publicists, executives, people who knew, or should have known, what was happening behind closed doors. According to multiple lawsuits, Diddy's inner circle wasn't just aware, they allegedly helped make it all possible. Some lawsuits mention bodyguards who blocked exits. Others cite handlers who prepared drugs, or PR agents who buried stories before they could break. This wasn't a man acting alone in the shadows. If the claims are to be believed, this was an operation, carefully managed, systematically protected, and the people around him, many of them are still quiet, still working, still pretending like nothing ever happened. But as more lawsuits pile up, silence is no longer protection. It's a red flag. The Justin problem. 4 years. Justin Combs was seen as the clean-cut heir too. Diddy's empire, college-educated, media-friendly, the son who stayed away from controversy. But now, that image is cracking. Being named in multiple lawsuits, even if dismissed, leaves a mark. And being accused of luring a woman into an alleged setup that ended in assault. That's not something you shake off, even if Justin never faces charges. His public reputation may already be done. Brand deals, gone. Media appearances, risky career, uncertain, and if more people come forward, he may not be just a side character in this story. He could be the next headline. The empire unravels. Ciroc, Bad Boy Records, Revolt, Sean John. For years, these were Diddy's emblems of success. Now, their liabilities, brands are distancing themselves. Investors are panicking. Lawsuits are targeting not just Diddy, but his companies claiming they were vehicles for abuse, not just business. We've seen this play out before. Weinstein, Epstein, R. Kelly. The empire isn't just broken, it's sold off, seized, or left to rot, and for the first time in decades, Diddy looks powerless to stop it. The verdict that never comes. We may never get a clean ending to this story. No single verdict will fix it. No one lawsuit will capture it all. Because this isn't a true crime mystery. It's a decades-long web of silence, privilege, and pain. The best we can hope for now is truth. Not all of it, but enough. Enough for the victims to heal. Enough for the enablers to be exposed. Enough for the next generation to know that even kings fall, even empires crumble, and sometimes, justice, finally, shows up.